Good morning, and thank you for joining me today on a Thursday. Yes, I'm just returning from a bus ride of over 1,800 miles with 22 members of the Chatham County Youth Commission. For those of you that are familiar with me, the Chatham County Youth Commission is a program, a governmental youth engagement program sponsored by Chatham County that began now 31 years ago, and I've been serving as program director for at least the last 28 years. When I retired from Chatham County, I continue to serve as director of that program. So this created an opportunity for us annually to do what we call our annual legislative tour. And so we took 22 young people, sophomores, juniors, and seniors from public, private, parochial schools from around the county up the East Coast. And so we were in Washington, D.C. We took them up to New York City. They had an audience with Mayor Eric Adams, who is a personal friend, and had the opportunity to visit their city hall and interact with their governmental leaders as well. I had opportunity to have a little bit of fun along the way, an NBA game and even a Broadway play, and had the opportunity to just view other places. We know for real that education best comes from experience. And I will tell you, as busy as Washington is and as busy as New York is, almost all of them were very happy coming over that bridge early this morning and seeing Savannah, saying they could see trees and they can see sky. So it's always a good opportunity for us. How we do as a community is going to be predicated upon our ability to expose young people and expose them early and expose them often. So I'm grateful to the Chatham County Commission for continuing those opportunities, and certainly from that came the Savannah Youth Council and the Savannah Youth Ambassadors here in the city of Savannah, again creating opportunities. So if you get the opportunity to ask some of these amazing young people about their experiences, I am sure they have a lot to tell you. I'm also very proud to announce today that the city of Savannah has been certified and now is recognized as a better city for pets. Created in 2019, this partnership with urban planning organization Nashville Civic Design Center, this certification evaluates cities based on its 12 traits of pet-friendly cities across 4 categories. One being shelters. Pet-friendly cities have fewer pets in shelters and more pets in loving homes. 2, homes. Pet-friendly cities have open housing policies and enable pet ownership. 3, parks. Pet-friendly cities have green space and amenities for healthy outdoor time with pets. And 4, businesses. Pet-friendly cities have programs and policies that make pets welcome. And so we know how we feel about our fur babies and our children of different breeds. They are important to us. They're important to our city. You can see them around our city, and our city will continue to work cooperatively and collaboratively with our partners to find ways to help and support our 4-legged, our furred, our winged, our finned, and our reticular residents. As you also know, the 200th anniversary of the Savannah St. Patrick's Day celebration is upon us. Last Saturday, we unveiled the marker notating the 200th year of this wonderful event, in downtown Savannah. And then we walked the original route of the parade. And we thank everyone who came out, and it started to rain just as we finished. The good old luck of the Irish hung true. This Friday, the St. Patrick's Day festivities will get an official kick off with the 26th annual March of Dimes Shamrock Run. This is an awesome event for the whole family that raises funds for an incredible nonprofit. And we know that March of Dimes is an important nonprofit in our community, so it's a great way to celebrate the luck of the Irish, the Festival of St. Pat, and still raise money for a great nonprofit. The race will kick off at 6:10 p.m. with the annual kids race, which is free to kids 10 and under. So don't let me see any 15-year-olds or 30-year-olds trying to be in the kids race. We're not allowing that. The 5K will start at 6:30 p.m. and will end around 8:30 p.m. in Ellis Square. There will be road closures around the route, and they will begin at approximately 5:30 p.m. All roads should be reopened by 10 o'clock p.m. So if you live in Savannah or if you're planning a visit on Friday night, just note that the route will change things, the traffic patterns will change, and it will be impacted by the 5K. To find out more information about the Shamrock Run, including how to sign up and the route, visit savannahga.gov. We have links available in our news release that we put out earlier this week. And so as we are in this time of green on Friday night, the City of Savannah will team up with our partners at Visit Savannah, the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, and WTOC to officially turn Savannah green. And we will be joined by a number of special guests here at City Hall on Friday evening to officially flip the switch and officially turn the city green for the month of March in honor of the bicentennial celebration. So join us here at 7 o'clock p.m. here at City Hall for this very special occasion. It's going to be epic. According to data from the Georgia Department of Public Health, respiratory illnesses in the state are relatively high right now. The good news is that it's on the decline. Chatham County has seen a major decline in COVID cases with 35% fewer hospitalization admissions than in early February. So the Department of Public Health is not aware of any capacity crises currently in our local hospitals as well, which is good news. But respiratory illnesses are still going around. So I still encourage everyone to follow the science, to follow CDC guidelines. If you have COVID, and COVID is still a thing here, and if you have the flu is always a thing here, stay away from folks, do what they tell you to do, and treat it appropriately. And please make sure that you're up to date with your vaccinations. Our great partners at the Department of Public Health, they have flu vaccinations, they have COVID vaccinations available every weekday at the Health Department clinic on Eisenhower Drive. And you can get free COVID and flu tests from the kiosk outside of the Eisenhower building at any time. So you can get your free test from right outside the kiosk. I saw it the other day. It's real easy. It's like buying a soda. DPH has teamed up with the Blood Connection to host a blood drive today from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Blood Connection's mobile bus will be set up outside of the Health Department at 1395 Eisenhower Drive. We know that there are critical shortages of blood supplies and certainly a critical shortage of A-negative blood in the Savannah community. And so all blood types are welcome, and the blood you might need might very well be your own. And so all donors will receive a $70 e-gift card. So quick gift card for $70 for giving the gift of life. For more information, you can visit thebloodconnection.org. Thebloodconnection.org. Also in the Good News Department, I'm pleased to announce that Healthy Savannah has been chosen to be a part of the White House Challenge to end hunger and build healthy communities. This is an incredible honor that recognizes the work that the City of Savannah and Healthy Savannah has done to end food challenges in this city, support nutrition security and health equity for our citizens. But we all know there is much more work to be done, and this White House challenge will help us to do better. In March of 2023, the Biden-Harris administration announced the White House challenge to end hunger. This nationwide call to action sought to engage residents and stakeholders across our entire nation to make bold commitments to advance President Biden's goal to end hunger and reduce diet-related diseases by 2030. So, of course, Savannah, we did what we do. We answered the call. For those of you who remember, in 2007, former Mayor Otis Johnson and, of course, the City Council, which I was a part of, planted the seed for healthy Savannah. Dr. Johnson, because of health challenges, recognized that health outcomes would improve by having healthy choices available to all residents, especially the underserved in our city. Nothing else is possible if you're not healthy. Nothing. The money doesn't mean anything if you're not healthy. So I thank Dr. Johnson for his continued commitment and certainly his vision, which is still, many years later, still paying dividends for our community. The city now works in collaboration and coordination with Healthy Savannah and the Savannah-Chatham Food Policy Council, which was established last year by City Council to focus on three main areas. One, solving communities' top food system priorities. Two, identifying and passing news and revised city and county policies related to equitable food access and resilient health food systems. And three, to collaborate with local, regional, state, and national efforts to improve healthy food access and address barriers to nutrition security. So again, this is a big win for the city of Savannah as the federal government recognizes the work that we're doing here in Savannah. And for us, it is a force multiplier for the work that we're already doing to address the very basic and very important needs of our citizens. So whether it's housing or stormwater drainage or whether it's food insecurity, I am proud of the work that Team Savannah is doing, and we're not doing it alone. We're doing it with our nonprofit partners to make sure that we're improving the total lives of all of our residents, and for all we mean all. And so we have to keep doing this day in and day out. We have to keep doing good work. We have to keep announcing and telling people about the work. We have to keep engaging partners in helping us to do the work. So another great day in the world's greatest city. And so that ends my prepared remarks, although I do want to recognize last week someone asked me off the cuff about the hours for the Sunday sales on St. Patrick's Day. I think I mistakenly said 3 o'clock. It was midnight. I made a mistake. Sorry. It was a part of the ordinance. I said offhand 3 a.m. and then someone printed the man was mistaken when he said 3 a.m. Okay, it was midnight. I can't keep all these ordinances in my head, so but we have already sent out information to that effect, and City Council had addressed that as well. So sorry, okay, I'm sorry. I can't remember everything. Joshua remembers everything. I can't remember everything. So that answers all my questions. And Adam, I know you have a question, so go ahead, have at it.
Which Broadway play and which NBA team?
We saw the Cavaliers play Washington Wizards, and it was actually a pretty good game. We were seated next to God in the Capitol Center, but toward the end, the Wizards were able to tie the game and then just lost it. And so it was exciting for the kids. Maybe I've never been to an NBA game. For the Broadway play, they went to see MJ the musical. They selected that. Freaking amazing. Amazing. I was actually surprised because I don't know anything about Michael Jackson. You know, they picked it and they had the time of their lives in there. So it's good exposure. I mean, many adults have never been to an NBA game, they've never been to a Broadway play. And let me say as a disclaimer, the county covers their hotel rooms and their bus travel, and the kids cover their expenses related to the trip. Well, you remember because you were at the morning news at the time. But again, experiences. They were just wowed by it. Yesterday, at the invitation of Mayor Adams, we went to the Summit, which is a brand new office building, which is right across the street, connected to the Grand Central Station. Went up 96 stories and then went up an additional 12, I believe. And they got to see New York from that level, which, a little frightening to me, wasn't frightening to them at all. They also went to the 911 tribute memorial, so they got to see the memorial there. They went underground and took the tour. Most amazing thing about that is that I keep forgetting they weren't alive when September 11th happened. So for them, it's like Vietnam might have been for many of us. And so putting it in perspective, for them seeing the faces, for them seeing what occurred, I think for them was mind-riveting. I think they heard about it in some way off memory, but so much of how they live now was based off of that. So I think that was a learning experience. And they got an opportunity to go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The reason why I thought they wanted to go was not the reason why they wanted to go. They wanted to go because that's where the Met Gala is. And so, but they had the opportunity to see some exhibits there. Again, creating those opportunities. I think they were overwhelmed with the traffic, with the people. They made some TikToks about it. If you get a chance to see them, they were hilarious. We walked halfway across the Brooklyn Bridge. They rode a subway. They ate a lot of cheesecake. God bless their parents. I was glad to get them home. Good morning.
Good morning. My question's a lot less fun. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Last week, it was announced that there would be significant delays at the convention center's expansion. The chamber announced they've already lost one big convention that would have equated to thousands of hotel rooms in the city, significant loss of some tax dollars there. Just your reaction on that, and are you confident in the general contractor there to get the job done in a reasonable time frame?
To be honest with you, it's not a city project. We've learned as it's gone along. Obviously, we're disappointed that's not completed on time. They got to work it out. We want it completed. We want to be completed well. We don't want shortcuts to be taken. There's a lot of money invested in the project. There's a lot of money riding on the project. And so obviously it's important to go ahead and get it done. Again, I don't know the nuances of why it's not being delivered on time, but obviously there's a lot of disappointed people.
Yeah, it's a state-funded project, but the hotel visits that would have happened in the city, I mean, those are city tax dollars that are lost. So just your reaction on that part.
Oh, yeah, well, we didn't have them. We didn't have them to begin with. So, I mean, obviously this would have been more tax dollars. But again, it's like crying over spilled milk. We didn't realize it because it hadn't come. So I think my message is, let's go ahead and get it done as quickly and as safely as we possibly can. Sorry.
Hey, Mayor Johnson.
Hey.
I want to ask you about some of the stormwater funding that's going into Ardsley Park, Casey Canal. That's approved. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, we said that at the beginning of my first administration, we were going to run two things because they're hard, not run away from them because they're hard. Stormwater is not sexy. You're putting money into the ground. We know that there are some things because of Savannah's topography, we're never going to stop Savannah from totally flooding. However, we can reduce incidences of structural flooding. We can reduce incidences of street flooding by improving our basins and our pipes and things. And so we've committed to doing this. This is a huge undertaking for the city. I'm glad we're able to move forward. We had a open house last night at the JEA. And so we'll continue to deal with this. And again, hopefully the results are that people don't experience the flooding. I know we don't flood now like we used to, and even when we have very hard and difficult rain events, we don't stay flooded. And I think that's a testament to the money that the city's already put in the ground, and I'm committed to continuing to do that as best we can.
What's some of the reactions you've got from residents in that area for this project?
Generally, they're happy about it. I think a lot of concerned about the disruptions to streets and thoroughfares that they're used to traveling on. We know progress is not pretty, and progress hurts sometimes. And so we'll have to figure out a way to get it done. We're going to communicate aggressively, and we're going to communicate well with residents so they understand very clearly what's happening, when it's expected to happen, how long it's supposed to happen, and make sure that we're engaging. I think people can adapt when they know what's going on. And so my commitment from the city is that we're going to communicate well. And we're going to have updates regularly so people can understand what's happening in this phase of the project. Hopefully it's a little different than it is downtown with like Broad Street, but you never know. Whenever you dig into the underground of an old city, you just always find stuff that you're not expecting, and sometimes you have to improve things, and it's always a challenge. Thank you. And we are taking questions at Mayor Johnson SAV on Facebook. So if you're on right now, all of our friends on the social media platform, Mayor Johnson SAV, feel free to ask a question, and then we will get to it. So go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Happy Leap Day.
Thank you. I know, right?
It was more of a lighthearted question. Just how are you taking advantage of this extra day? And is the city doing any event today in honor of the holiday?
I am not familiar with it. We're living. If God grants you an extra day of life, we'll take it. I say happy birthday to those who are born on February the 29th. If you're born on February 29th, send me a message so I can send you a personal message and shout you out on our social media platforms. I will do that. Send us your name and today's your birthday, because you don't get a chance to get happy birthday often. So happy birthday to all of our February 29thers. For me, I'm probably going to try to get some work done and get a little bit of sleep. It's been a rough week.
Awesome. And to just clarify about the Healthy Savannah, was Healthy Savannah formed in 2007 with the former mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mayor Johnson, at the time, when we were toward the end of our first term, I believe, he had a heart attack. And from that, it was really about focusing on healthy lifestyles. And he brought this concept, and Healthy Savannah was formed. And I think at the time it was really novel that we really had a task force that became its own thing, really laser focused on health issues. And I mean, they have been a juggernaut in this community since healthy foods, healthy spaces, walking communities tied to town. They have really been at the forefront of all those things. So it's a part of Mayor Johnson's legacy. So proud to have been around for it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you mentioned COVID earlier. It may not seem like it, but once we get to March, it'll be 4 years since shutdown started.
I know.
All of that. We all know what ensued, obviously, but just looking back at it, how far have we come? As a city, particularly.
Looking far, we're going back what?
Just looking back at it, how far as a city have we come?
I look back and see how unbelievably blessed this community is, and how blessed we were. 4 years ago, and I'm not sure any of you all were here, but it was a very scary time in this community to be able to say that we're going to cancel the St. Patrick's Day parade out of abundance of caution, that we're going to shut down businesses in this community out of abundance of caution. But to really see how this community showed its resiliency and bonding together, our business community, our tourist partners, working with us to create ways of people to enjoy our space. The way we were having people to test, we remember we had the state of New York, Governor Cuomo, former governor, came down with a chartered JetBlue plane with over 187,000 pieces of PPE. We didn't know what PPE was. We didn't know what we didn't know what hand sanitizer is now. We didn't know what masks were like that. And now we have a much better understanding about that. We understood what keeping the faith and following the science meant. About hand sanitizer and the importance of washing hands. And so I think, from this we've emerged stronger. Savannah in 2022 and 2023 have experienced our best business years across all sectors ever. It has been said, and Adam might be able to confirm this, that Savannah has rebounded from COVID better than any city in the state. We have led in that way. If you look around and you see the people coming, we have more people coming here. We have our businesses doing better, and we have gained a greater appreciation for the power of Savannah, our ability to help people when they're in need. We paid mortgages, we paid rents, we paid utility bills. The United Way created a fund of over 700,000, I believe, at the time, to help people before we even got any federal money. We were able to use our funds to help keep people in their homes. So it was a lot going on. And I'm glad you actually asked that question, because we're gonna pull a record just to kind of put our mind back in that space, to just remember the timeline of what occurred. I think it's important for us, for history's sake, to recount that. But thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today's crossover day in Atlanta at the state capitol. You and the rest of the city council were under the Gold Dome just over a month ago. Any bills in particular you're watching out for today, and how pleased are you with what, if any, of the priorities from the city that have been passed or are in the process of potentially being passed in their house?
Well, at the risk of not jinxing myself, because it does happen on crossover day, we're keeping our fingers crossed. We think that we've had a moderately okay season so far. For us, it was about housing. It was about guns. A lot of it was about playing defense, making sure that we are we're maintaining no changes to short-term vacation rentals, making sure that we're playing defense on a variety of things that seek to limit the city's ability to govern for ourselves. So we're just watching. We'll see what happens. We always know there are some surprises that jump up on crossover day, and so I have a bag packed in case I have to run to Atlanta to look personally in some legislative space. But we'll see how it goes.
Are there any bills in particular that you're watching today?
Not in particular. Again, they're concepts. So we're looking, because of course crossover day goes from the House and the Senate, and the Senate from the House, and so our legislative folks are there on the ground, they're watching, and they'll keep us alerted as it is. And so next week I'll have a better idea of at least giving some feedback about our scorecard at this point.
And finally, today's begins the commemorations for the Weeping Time.
Yes.
Are you planning on taking part in any commemorative events over the next couple of days? And what do you want Savannahans to know about the commemorations this year?
I have participated in every Weeping Time commemoration since they started. As a matter of fact, as First District Alderman, I led the charge to have a park designated on Augusta Avenue for the Weeping Time. The Weeping Time was the largest, it was at the time considered the largest single sale of enslaved persons in American history. I believe March the 2nd to 3rd, 1859, I believe the date was, right here in Savannah, Georgia. We have learned in the last year that it was not the largest. There was actually a larger one somewhere in the Charleston area, but nonetheless, we recognize it was still significant. So I participate every year. I'll be participating on Saturday at the commemoration that we usually do. For us, the Weeping Time was a moment in our history that we wish would not have happened. It broke up literally hundreds of families. It scattered them across the Southeast and around the country. We don't know what became of many of them. However, we still have a lot of information about many of them, their ages at the time, their names, some of their physical attributes. So, I know there are activities going on, and I'll participate as schedule allows, but it is still a significant part of Savannah's history. I'm still hoping that we will be able to obtain a portion of the actual Weeping Time property, which is the 10 block racetrack, to use for public access and public memorial use. We're still working towards that. We do know as a fact that the property that had been so contentiously debated was not a part of this property. It's adjacent to it, but it's not a part of it. I think for the purpose of history, we need to be able to make sure that we're able to access, and so we're still having those conversations. I'm hoping one day we'll have it where people can actually visit the actual site. I will also say that before the Weeping Time, before the second and the third, I think history shows, and I'll get myself in trouble again, if I'm wrong, let me know. On the first, those enslaved persons were in Johnson Square. I believe it was the night before they were in Johnson Square where people were able to come and visit them. So when you talk about the sacred property, there was a sale, but it was also the preview. And so the preview, being in Johnson Square, makes that also in the text of things, sacred ground. Savannah is a sacred place. Thank you. Any questions from Facebook?
Yes, we have one from the City of Savannah's Facebook page. Deidre Royal made the comment that newly drainage potholes, especially on Abercorn, are dangerous on the cars.
Yes.
Can they have some kind of marking to alert residents?
Yes, and thank you very much, and we will submit that as a 311 request when we get off here. Potholes are bad. Again, coming from New York, I think our streets are really great in comparison. But no, if you see a pothole, it's important. We have hundreds of city employees on the street. They should be reporting them. But ma'am and sirs, if you see a pothole or anything that doesn't look right within the city of Savannah, 311 is that number to call. Do us a favor, please, and report it. That way we can track it. We can make sure we hold people accountable for it. But if you say Abercorn, if you send us another message, just tell us we're at Abercorn, we can go ahead and get that address as well. That's it. Well, we want to thank our Facebook community. We want to thank all of you for coming out. The last day of the month, February 2024, last day of Black History Month. Tomorrow begins Women's History Month. So go women. Thank you all for being Savannah Strong.